Hello viewers, today for the initial checkout we have the Sanyo 900 MHz digital or Digitan spread spectrum telephone, model number CLT-986. It does contain the nickel cadmium battery. Has a battery backup in the base. It takes 3 AA cells, and this foam is pretty much deteriorated. Fortunately, there's no door cell batteries in there, and it looks like for wall mounting you'd have to have a bracket. It calls for the 9 volts, the 350 milliamps. And speaking of the calling power, here is a look at the AC adapter. It is the Sanyo AD-B082, and sadly it was made in China. Ooh, made in China. Somehow it still works. So anyways, that's plugged in again. Here's some instructions on the base. Talks about if the handset is operating abnormally, which is never good. Looks like there was a piece of tape across here, and I can see why. Because the clip for wall mounting is not removable, and so when it's on the table and you go to pick it up, it can get caught unless you go forwards. But naturally, if you want to take something to you, you pull it backwards, and so you pull it back and it doesn't really come out that well. So they probably took that tape and blocked off that hole so that it sat above. Could they do that? Yeah, I guess probably could have done that. That's probably what that was for. So anyways, this is pretty unusual model because it's very fully featured for something of the time. This is Digitan spread spectrum 900 MHz, and it has a handset speakerphone. There was one of these phones for sale on the e-ripoff for many years, it seemed like, and it was something like $200. Outrageous. And I just kept waiting for one to show up at an affordable price, because I wanted a 900 MHz spread spectrum to use outside with the handset speakerphone. And then the Quest phone showed up, and I got that, and that worked great, so I kind of forgot about this one. And then one came up at a very affordable price, so I got it. Now, I've tested a number of Sanyo phones recently, and they all stunk because the microphones did not seem to pick up the audio very well, if at all. And this one, while it's somewhat in the same boat, I think this one is still usable. Anyways, it's a neat phone, very fully featured. It's pretty heavy, very big handset, big speaker on the back, speed dial. Look, there's 2 different pieces of paper there, I guess. And 6-hour charge. And that probably burned through the battery like crazy, because as you can see here, it's not the original battery in there, it's a Radio Shack replacement battery. And the Sanyo battery number would have been 3N-600AACL, and the Radio Shack battery is the number 23-353A, which is the nickel cadmium, the 3.6 volts, and the 600 milliamps, so it's probably close to, if not original, specification. Even says quick charge right on there. That will go away after some time, so maybe it quickly charges for the first couple of minutes or however long it's on the cradle, and then it slows down and does more of a trickle type charge later on. That quick charge probably is what burns through the battery so quickly. Okay, well, let's begin by calling it up. Well, we should begin by plugging in the phone line, because that's a prerequisite for the rest of the video. It's getting late. Okay. Take two. Let's begin by calling it out. What now? That was kind of delayed. It's kind of a strange ringer. Auto talked very quickly. Keeps the caller ID information there, which is kind of neat. Does the bass not have a ring? Well, it does, but it's not the on, it's the off. There's some junk on there. Let's turn that bass ringer on. And this did just have something on the screen. For how little power an LCD screen takes up, it's kind of ridiculous that it's flashing on and off. Now it's unsteady. Well, the bass is the same ringer. That's kind of rare. It's kind of an awful ring. The handset is backlit. That's kind of neat how it flashes like that. I guess the bass is not backlit. That kind of stinks. Okay. Well, let's go to the outside line and make a call and see how good this handset speakerphone is. Whoops. We'll call, geez, I'll get it right this time. We'll call the High and Dry Winery.
Hello, Farmer Jones out here in the tree fields, the vineyards, and the berry fields, busy with spring work. Crop update, second week of April. Season's moving right along. Now, first, the farm winery. It's open this upcoming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with lovely outdoor seating and limited and spacious indoors. We have a new pitch of our rosé wine.
It's got a really good range.
Make participation on our website. Go to book now. Now, the website is simply jonesfamilyfarms.com. The winery is open without reservation for wine bottle sales, along with our...
Not bad. Sounds pretty good. It's not the greatest, like, vocal tone to it, but it's got a really good volume. Let's take a listen to the earpiece.
110 near the Monroe Collection on 606 Walnut Tree Hill Road. And again, the website, Jones Family Farms. You can email us at joneswinery@jones.
Okay, that works as well. And that sounds decent. So, the speakerphone is not bad. What I forgot to do is talk into it and see if it cuts out. I like the buttons. Pretty easy to press and good clarity on the font.
April writing checks.
Does it cut out when I speak into it? Not really. That could be because the microphone pickup is so bad it doesn't even hear me. Goose!
People's United Bank time. Current.
Yeah, it will cut out a little bit, but not beyond what's
Showers today,
reasonable.
highs upper 50s. Showers and a slight chance of a thunderstorm overnight, lows mid 40s. Showers likely Monday, highs low 50s.
That'll work good outside because you need the extra volume when you're outside. It's harder to hear the phone sometimes if there's wind or background noise or whatever. Okay, so incoming is fine. So now let's check the outgoing audio, and I think that's where the problem is going to come into play. It says standby when it's loading something. That's kind of interesting. Let's put a number into there so we'll see how the callback feature works. It's fully operational while in the cradle. This phone has a lot of unusual features. Okay, that works. Okay, the intercom just answers, I guess. Goose. Goose. 1, 2, 3. It's a very weak pickup. Alright, so now, here's the big question. How bad is the transmit? Let's find out.
4 new messages and 4 old messages. Message 1.
Well, this is take 2 because take 1 didn't record at all because it didn't hear anything that I said, apparently.
Message 2.
Inherently, the regular talk mode's pickup is worthless because the first testing message didn't pick up anything. So now we're on speakerphone. I'm going to exit the studio now and traverse across the room to make sure that the coverage is good because it should be working perfectly fine across the room with this frequency and technology. So here we are all the way across the room. Now I'm going to traverse back towards the studio and let's see how good the audio quality is on this pickup. I think it's going to be very poor. And I hope that maybe I can replace the microphone or clean it or do something like that to make it work better again.
Message 3.
Back on talk and I'm shouting practically into this telephone. Is it picking up anything?
Message 4.
This is the bass microphone test. Okay, the microphone, this one is not on the bottom, it's on the side. So right now, it's on the table and I'm speaking directly above it. Still recording, hopefully it keeps recording. I'm going to put the piece of wood down now. Okay, now it's on the piece of wood and it's still recording, so maybe the bass speakerphone works okay. I'm going to start moving away from the phone now. Right now I'm about 2 feet away from the telephone. And now this is about 3 to 4 feet away from the telephone. And it looks like the testing instruments are still recording. Now we're about 5 feet away from the telephone, 6 feet away from the telephone. If this is still recording, I'm going to be very surprised. Now I'm back across the room, which is about 11 feet. So that will conclude this test. And it's still recording. So maybe the bass microphone is okay.
End of messages.
The handset pickup is, after listening to those messages, I don't think it's really usable. But the base speakerphone was pretty good. So, the only thing I can think of is maybe the foam that's over the microphone has deteriorated and has become more of like a hard, well, not hard, but like a thick sound blocking material. And maybe that's why it's not working. I don't know. I'm going to try to fix that and see what I can do. Now, the base speakerphone's pickup was quite good, so let's do an outside call and see how it sounds. It's got a decent range to it as well. These buttons should be backlit. I don't know why they're not.
Good evening. Our technology is as helpful as our people. People, you know. Hey, remember it. Today is Sunday. People. 46. All right. Showers today. These showers and a slight chance of a thunderstorm overnight. Lows mid-40s. Showers likely Monday. Highs low 50s.
Well, not bad. I'm more impressed by the pickup. I also noticed on the handset transmit messages on speakerphone there was somewhat of a noise in the background. So I don't know what's with that. Anyways, so conceptually, this is a pretty cool phone. I like the volume buttons on the side. The handset speakerphone's got a good volume to it. The caller ID stuff is pretty neat. But the microphone is just awful. So I'll see if that can be fixed. Hopefully it can be.